James White, Dr. James White, passes torch to Wess Huff. Welcome to Push the Envelope, y'all. This is Priest Sakai, a.k.a. Deacon Genesis.
Genesis!
Back at y'all with another one. PTE, Push the Envelope. PTE, the podcast. PTE Network. Push it to the limit, y'all. All praise to the Most High. What's going on, everybody? Good to be back at y'all. Thursday night, late night live show with the blue ambiance. Good to see everybody going in. Peace and love to y'all who will be watching this live, and for y'all who will be watching it after.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas
the post broadcast. Let me know if the audio and visual is good. Let me know if the audio and visual will suffice for the eyes of the masses as the channel is growing. And I really appreciate the amount of support and sharing, liking, commenting. Shout out to the haters too. You gotta have you gotta have your those who have disdain for you, because the Messiah said, if they did not like him, they definitely will not like you. A servant is not above his master. Got my spring water, glass bottle. Let's get this started, y'all. When you come in, hit that like button. When you come in, hit that like button. Tomorrow night, I will be airing a video on this channel, y'all, talking about Joe Rogan versus Wess Huff in the issue of, is the Bible a translation of a translation of a translation of a translation? And I must say, Joe Rogan did land a clean shot on Wess on this matter. You know me, I have to play the game how it goes, fair and unbiasedly. So I hope everybody's well. Let's get right into it, y'all. We have to have successors. We have to have pupils at the water for the subscription. All plays. Genesis Flexion. We have to have young lions under our tutelage that we could pass the baton to, so we understand that why Dr. James White is so elated and ecstatic about a Wess Huff, him being able to pass the torch to a Wess Huff, PhD to soon to be PhD. Hi, Dr. James White. What's going on? Remember me? Oh, your son, Joshua White. Had many run-ins with Dr. James White's son, Joshua White. Hassad did a debate with him. I have some back and forths over the internet with him. I hope you're doing well, Joshua White. All right, we need you to learn everything from your father, and you also take the baton and come and engage in our community like you used to. Where you been at? Last time I seen him, he was doing karate. Not sure how his karate is going, Joshua White. He was breaking boards and doing his stuff, you know. So let's get this started, y'all. East Atlanta all the way to Seattle. You already know. East Atlanta all the way to the 206. Much love to ATL. We do have Genesis Atlanta if you want to join the body in the congregation. All right, y'all, put them big G's in the chat so we can get this started. Put this them big G's, not the little ones, here to feed the little ones. Put them in the chat so we can do this.
Crank it up!
Big G's in the chat, not the little ones. And make sure y'all subscribing. We putting out heavy scholarly work over here. Heavy scholarly work over here. High academics over here. You'll get the soul propers on the main channel, but over here, you know, we're trying to raise up. We're trying to pass the baton like Dr. James White is trying to pass to Wess Huff. So without further ado, y'all, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. Oh, he's so happy. He's happy. But listen, we got some up and coming young brothers as well. We do have some up and coming young brothers who are vicious and tenacious and vigorous and monstrous and mighty with the word of God. So we're not fretting, we're not fearing, we're not jealous, we're not envious at all. We are just here to report what's going on. How does this affect us? How does this affect our community? This affects our community because they are prepping to defend their man-made tradition, their 2,000-year-old man-made tradition. They're prepping to defend that apologetically, right? Or apologetics, excuse me. So that's why we even care, because they have their heroes, they have their champions, they have their scholars, they have their pillars, they have their gargantuans, they have their constituents, they have their what's the word I'm looking? Their conglomerates, and so do we. Understand that? So do we. And we just want a battle of the minds. And if it can't happen in person, we're okay with going back and forth, video for video, doing reviews, doing tape sessions, commentaries. We're okay with it, but we would like to actually engage. So let's get this started. There's
been all this discussion over the
Let me know that y'all can hear the audio as well.
past few days about who should go on Joe Rogan next. Well, you know what? I think actually Joe Rogan's people started determining all that stuff. But, you know, it's all people like, get James White on there. And I'm like, I immediately responded to that and going, I don't think I fit there. I don't view myself as, I get the feeling that Rogan, Wess Huff was perfect because Wess is buff. He's 33 years old, so he's 4 years older than when I did my first debate back in 1990. And
no, Wess Huff is the great white champion. He's the great white hope. He's buff. He's 33. He's blonde. So yeah, they're, and that's one thing our community. Our community. We keep the dietary laws. We don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. We keep God's laws, but we have some of the unfit, out of shape. We gotta keep going. I've been on my journey, but everybody has to take care of the one body that you have while down here. Cause he's stoked. He's like, we're buff. He's buff. He's brolic. He's just the perfect candidate, inside and out, for me to pass the baton to. We got another subscriber.
Oh, you be with some steppers on.
Let's keep going.
my first debate back in 1990. And so there could be a give and take there, and I just get the feeling that that's more keeping Rogan's interest. I mean, he said wow 33 times, I think. Someone did a wow count, and it was like 33 wows from Joe Rogan on that. So even
also, too, Joe Rogan, I believe he smokes weed, and I think he also does mushrooms. So I know when Mike Tyson was on there, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. When Mike Tyson was on there, Joe Rogan was hitting it. He was smoking that good. He was smoking that. He was smoking that next Friday, right? He was smoking that.
Beat him down, beat you down. Who else wants some?
So, of course, he's gonna be like, wow. He's gonna embellish and be all hyperbolic, And for Wess Huff to go into that environment, though, you got to give Wess Huff some credit because he looks like what we call an L7. He looks like an L7. That would be a square. You know, so it looks like he wouldn't even want to be around that type of environment. Nevertheless, he went in there and, you know, Joe Rogan was astonished at his doctrine.
Even though we were saying a lot of the same things, talking about textual criticism, the history of the manuscripts, stuff like that. And that's been so encouraging to me. And I said this, I'm sure, at some point since the last trip, because I listened to his encounter with that black fellow that just obviously doesn't have a clue what he's talking about.
Is it just me? Now listen. This channel, you guys can't say whatever you feel in the chat. We got to keep this channel pure and clean. Save that for over there. Did y'all hear? Is that just me? Did that just rub me the wrong way? Or is that like, or did I hear what I thought I just heard? That black fellow? That black. You should have just said that crayon box, that black.
Point since the last trip, because I listened to his encounter with that black fellow that just obviously doesn't have a clue what he's talking about.
His name is Billy Carson, man. Come on. There was already some accusations about Dr. James White and his demeaning or questionable remarks towards people of my race. And so that's a whole nother topic. But when you say things like that, his name is Billy, you could have just said that fellow. You could have just said that fellow. You didn't have to say that black fellow, that black, that crayon box, the black. His name is Billy Carson, and although Wess Huff completely decimated him, he's still one of our people. Nevertheless, to you, a human being, address him by his name, not by his ethnicity. What is wrong with this?
Hearing people talking about the scribal habits of Codex Sinaiticus, CBGM, P52, P45, sits behind me every time. And
they worship that P45.
Hearing other people talking about this stuff is extremely encouraging to me. Some people say, "Oh, everything's going on; it's all turf war and all this stuff." No, we need lots of Wess Huffs.
See, he is sipping his tea. He's cooking. He's doing his thing right now, Wess Huff. So they are pushing him and supporting him. Meanwhile, we tear each other down. Everybody wants to be the chief and not enough Indians. We can't get one Passover where we all come together. Oh yeah, no. My next few live shows, I'm going to put the glasses on with the collared shirt because we want white people to listen to us more. And we want black people to listen to us more as well. And it's sad that the imagery of intellectuality has to be that of European persuasion, Caucasian persuasion. But yeah, they're pushing their champion to the forefront, supporting him. He's going on all these channels, and meanwhile, we can't get one Passover where all camps could go to, where all congregations could go to, because then the leader's going to say, well, who's going to be the leader of it? I just want to be in the building. Don't put me at the top. Don't sit me at the top. I just want to be there and be in the building of something like that. But it'll never happen. Too much ego, too much pride, too many of our leaders believing they're the top men on the planet, third under Christ, and just crazy stuff. Let's keep going.
We need the next generation. They've got to be coming up, and my biggest hope is that this ministry has been an encouragement to those next generations of people that are coming up, because we ain't going to be here forever.
Now, I do feel that. That's heartfelt. That's heartfelt for me because I'm just putting myself in his shoes. And as far as the younger generation of our community, we do have Hassad. We got Hassad. We got them young brothers out in New York, New Jersey. We got some young brothers in WFI. But as far as like, and forgive me if like I'm missing, but I can't really think of some young hitters in our community. You know, we need more of that. That is the next generation. God forbid we have to be here longer. We want to make sure the Most High's truth that he's entrusted us with is, you know, strong and immovable, immutable. You understand? So we have to do a better job with our ministry in the way we lead and gear it towards the younger generation of our community so that they could take the baton and go even further than us. Like I said, God forbid we have to be here. The sixth trumpet should be sounding soon. How do we know? Because the world is gearing up, it's shaping up for World War III. That's the sixth trumpet. So we can confidently, or at least very hopefully, say that it is on the cuffs. Let's keep going.
And we shouldn't be. That's not how it's supposed to work. The whole idea of producing, hopefully, 200 plus moderated public debates and who knows how many thousands of hours of the Dividing Line webcast and everything else, the books, it ain't for us. It's for the benefit of the church now and in the future. That's the whole reason you do you're supposed to be doing the things you're doing anyways.
And that's why we need more books. Yes, I'm an author of a children's book to give our children, you know, racial empowerment and ethnic pride and the truth about our ancestors and to combat, you know, the whitewashing of our heritage. But we need more book authors in our community. This is why I like to do music. Music is like leaving a book behind. This is something that will be played through the annals of time, right? And so somebody said IUIC is across the world teaching the young. That's not what I'm saying. Everybody's teaching the young. Everybody's teaching the young everywhere. I'm saying, what young man can you say is going to be the next Bishop Nathaniel? Or better, because everything should get better. The Bible says knowledge should increase at the end of time. Who can we say that? Who can we say is the next powerful leader or similar in our community of our younger generation? Or are we as leaders failing? Who is our successor? It can't just be one person, and then when he's gone, the sheep are scattered. Let's go.
So, yes, sir. You raised the microphone.
I just wanted to chime in here. I mean, when you were coming up, the big names were Walter Martin, Geisler, and they were sucking all the oxygen out of the rooms they were in. There wasn't any room for younger men. There wasn't any encouragement in that, as I recall. And when you tried to reach out to them, it was brick wall. And Hanegraaff did reach out on the King James only controversy, if I recall, was the first time that kind of thing happened. Mm-hmm. But that was well down the road in establishing this ministry. Mm-hmm. And we've never wanted to be those guys to where it's like, you know what, we have a corner on the market and there's no room for you.
Yeah.
And we can name many leaders in our community right now. We can name many hitters, many lions, savages, as far as, you know, how skillful they are with the word and history, archaeology, prophecy. But I'm solely speaking on the young generation because he's so excited to pass this baton to Wess Huff. Now let me direct your guys' attention to the chat here. Somebody named Amanda, who looks to be a black woman. Is that a black woman? Somebody let me know. It has to be talking like that. I haven't said anything bad about Dr. James White this video. This woman says, I have no business even talking about, I can't even talk about the white man without a black woman wanting to kill me. I can't even talk about the white man without the black woman wanting to kill me. Ain't that crazy? I ain't said nothing bad about Wess, Huff, or Dr. James White. But hey, don't talk about my massa. Don't even say nothing about, even if it ain't bad, don't say nothing about my massa. Listen.
Shut your black mouth, you liar.
Yes, raccoon emojis in the chat. Let's keep going.
Yeah, some of the big ministries, I think it's one of the reasons that we've remained relatively small. I mean, the big ministries could buy and sell us multiple times a year, budgetarily speaking. And I'm sort of thankful that we've stayed that way, because we don't have to be concerned about things like that. There are a couple times that things happened in the history of this ministry where I said something that caused a problem for some of the multi-million-dollar ministries. And that's when I realized, they sort of view things as competition and stuff like that. And we just don't think like that. We don't think about turf wars and stuff like that. And so I can sit back and I can see a Wess Huff who I think I mentioned when we reviewed his it wasn't a debate, it was a discussion. And in fact,
bro, I just have to be honest. I can't say the Christian community as a whole, but what he's saying right now is putting our community to shame. There shouldn't be a leader who says, oh, niggas will never, excuse my language, I'm sorry. Other brothers will never be their equal. Like, we should be striving to, if we're up, to pull them up too. And not be jealous or feel envious or scared somebody's trying to take your spot or position. Because then at that point, you're fighting with the Most High. It could be the Most High raising those individuals up to your level or even past you. So he's saying, look, I did 200 formal debates. I think that's how many debates Dr. James White has did. He did 200 formal public debates. And he's saying, look, I'm not jealous. I'm not going to feel no type of way. We need more like him. We're going to endorse him. We're going to support him. We need to do more PTE, more pushing the envelope in our community.
Most of the program wasn't even with the guy that makes all the wild and crazy claims. It was with the host of the program, who calls himself a Christian but has a lot of doesn't.
Now he's talking about when Wess Huff had the conversation with Billy Carson, the guy whose channel it was. He is very eccentric, as far as his understanding of the word. He seems like he's a Gnostic. A little bit, and a narcissist.
Seem to view Scripture the way that Jesus viewed Scripture. Let's just put it that way. I commented at the time that it's so necessary and refreshing to hear others getting to talk about stuff. Look, since for the past 7 or 8 years, who's been about the only person, other than Peter Gurry at Phoenix Seminary, who's been the person talking most in the non-academic world, out where stuff gets done in the church, about CBGM? Me.
That's a good point. Dr. James White has been at the forefront of talking about CBGM. It's like how they I want to say how they digitize the ancient manuscripts. He's been the only one talking about that. And now we have Wess Huff. So Dr. James White is like, man, this dude, he's saying everything that I'm going to say. He's doing what I'm going to do. So he's very excited to pass this baton to Wess Huff.
And look, that again, if we had to somehow support, big buildings and staffs and all the rest of that stuff, I probably wouldn't be able to talk about stuff like that. I'd have to be always looking for what's going to get the most engagement and clicks and all the rest of that kind of stuff now.
Yeah, because who cares about how you digitize the text and get it on computer format? I mean, we should care. We should care about the transmission and how the composition of our ancient texts. I know I do. I taught on my Genesis Varsity Online Academy a course specifically about textual criticism, but that's not everybody. Now, more so because we are the chosen people, we should be into things like that, not just clickbait, controversy, catchy titles, gimmicks, or even debate. We should be delving off into the history and the scholarship and the text so that we can explain it. First, understand it ourselves, then be able to explain it. Excuse me. So let me skip to 22.
Stick to me, on the spectrum. He really does. He doesn't understand language. He doesn't understand exegesis. He doesn't understand logic. He'll just grab this thing here and grab that thing and grab. Oh, look at this! You can put them together. No, you can't. Nobody does that. Well, even your church doesn't do that. Well, but it still refutes you. There's all sorts of folks like that out there that. You just have to go, well, you have a nice day. See, I won. And it's like, okay, all right. If you say so. So I'm sure he's just getting overwhelmed with that kind of stuff. And look, if it was somebody, if someone said, hey, I'll pay the big bucks, because it does take big bucks, to put together a debate between you.
He wants that money, 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 money. He wants that money. I mean, I guess the Christian church, they are about the money. It's $1 billion organization.
Don't ask. I said, don't ask. I said, don't ask.
But on the other hand, it does cost big bucks to get in-person debates. But if you did it like how God Logic and Tazariak did it, just out in public at a park, microphone, 2 mics, 1 speaker or 2 mics in the speaker, that cuts the cost. Take it back to the old school, to the ancient world, Mars Hill. Take it back to the Epicureans. Take it back there. You don't always have to get a grandiose ballroom and charge all that money for the tickets, So there is a way it can be done, or you can just do it online. That's not going to cost big bucks. That's virtually free. So he's saying that Wess Huff is not trying to debate right now, which is why we're not chasing a debate with Wess Huff. Again, just little old me. But we are covering some of his work, doing some critiques, correcting, rectifying. Why? Because we have the authority to do that. And just check it out. Check out the last few videos. Tell me if I'm lying. Point out the lie. Point it out. Then you can tell me.
You liar.
You can tell me.
Shut your black mouth.
Show me the lies told. Especially with the video coming out tomorrow, where he says the Bible is not a translation of a translation. Just tune in for that, because Joe Rogan landed a clean punch. That'll be out tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern. So give you something good for the Friday night. Let's continue.
You and Bart Ehrman. I'm sure Wes would want to do that, but he'd want to have. I'll pay the big bucks, because it does take big bucks, to put together a debate between you and Bart Ehrman.
I would watch that.
I'm sure Wes would want to do that, but he'd want to have the time to do it right.
I would watch that.
And the other thing he said was, look, I've made commitments. Family, wife's pregnant.
Hey, Bart
and I'm working.
Ehrman,
I'm trying to finish my dissertation.
Bart Ehrman, man.
And I've already committed to going to this place and that place. You don't just throw all that out.
Bart Ehrman is what you call a slick heretic. Bars. Because a organized lie always beats a disorganized truth. So when you go up against Bart Ehrman, you have to have your stuff together.
And say, well, you know what? I'm famous now, so I'm not going to worry about you. And do that type of thing. So I really appreciated the fact that, he understands you have to prepare. And the majority of what takes place, the very fact that first program he was on, people called it debate. It was not a debate. Wes said it was not a debate. There was no thesis. There was no moderator. There wasn't equal time. There wasn't rules.
It was a spank.
It was supposed to be a discussion that came about in only 24 hours.
Billy Carson got spanked.
He understands what debate really is and how it needs to be prepared for. And so this wasn't a debate with Joe Rogan or anything like that. It was meant to be a conversation, a discussion. And so I just really, really appreciated what he had to say in that particular thing. And by the way, he was on with the Apologia guys. I didn't get to be there. We normally are on this air at the same time that they are. So that's, unless we coordinate something.
Who's seen that broadcast with Wess, Huff, and Apologia Studios? And do you know if Jeff Durbin was present on the panel? Let me know. I might have to take a look at that and check out and see what was said on that. Now, this is mostly just about the passing of the baton. I'm not critiquing Christian doctrine on this video. This is just about, how we should be looking at things as well in our community.
So and in fact, I would have met him back in, I'm pretty sure it was 2019.
He wants to meet
because it was before
Wess
COVID.
Huff.
I had gone back to New York, and Jeff and
He a fan.
Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.
Luke and Zach and I had visited Palmyra, New York. And we had visited the First Vision Grove and the house and, all this stuff. And we were standing there in the house. But I have other priorities. And y'all don't have to have all the same priorities. If Wes does 25 really important, great debates in his life, and I do over 200, does that mean something? No. Because he will be spending his time doing other things. There are areas that I've gotten into, he probably won't, and vice versa. He's clearly studied areas that I have not. But we have a lot of overlap, a lot of area where we've been dealing with the same stuff. And that's exactly how it should be. And that's a really positive thing from my perspective. So,
no, he's Wess Huff already admitted that he's not, his expertise is not being a debater, although he is capable to debate. So I'm not sure he gets 25 major debates in his lifetime. That's kind of a bit much. But as you guys can see, he's saying they're studying the same fields. They're saying some of the same thing, teaching the same doctrine for the most part. And so he's excited to pass this baton to Wess Huff. Now, here's what happens at the end of this story. You pass the baton to Wess Huff. Wess Huff eventually debates a top leader in the Israelite community who's not just a debater, but who actually is on a collegiate level, has some degrees, and they take that baton from Wess.
Crank it up!
Genesis.
Say it again. Say something else. Oh!
That's what happens at the end of the story. I know you Christians are mad at it, but that's what happens.
Beat him down, beat you down. Walk,
Gangsta Grizzly!
So, with that being said, he's got me ready to go hard already. Pause. But today, I did a class on my main channel. I did the Genesis Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. I also recorded this video that's coming out tomorrow. Joe Rogan, Wess Huff, the translation of a translation. And I'm doing this video right now. And then tomorrow, we're going in on my main channel. I got to prepare those slides tonight. I got to go over the spiritual Israel. Because yes, there is a spiritual Israel. We're going to talk about what it is, who it is, how it works. Is it biblical? So, but I love it. I love this. I love my job. I love working for the Most High. It feels great. It's such an accomplishment. It feels good afterwards. It's just an amazing thing when you have no empty void in you. In the ultimate, you were fully fulfilled. And you're here on earth. You know your plan. You know why you were even born. You know your destiny. So all praises to the Most High. Any questions, comments, or smoke before we get out of here? Remember, set your reminders to 11 p.m. Eastern Time to see this video tomorrow. This is a good one. It's a barn burner. Promise you that. Joe Rogan got them all. Joe Rogan landed a clean punch, man. I looked at the CompuBox numbers. Any questions, comments, or smoke before we get on up out of here? Already torturing me, running from others with similar knowledge. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, somebody said, I just finished I just finished a debate with Vocab Malone. It was bad, really bad. Vocab Malone is the new Billy Carson. He's toast after this debate. There's no coming back. He was Wess Huff. I'm going to go watch that. At what minute mark? Oh, we got to get a couple moderators in here. Let's get a couple moderators in here. Make sure. What's your thoughts on the shorter readings of Matthew 1:16 in the OSS? I'd have to look at that. What does it say, actually? What does it say? Because I know certain ancient manuscripts say that Joseph begot Jesus, which is good. Let me get a couple moderators in here. Okay, so let me get my brother. Let's get a couple moderators. Remember, if you use the blick, if you misuse the blick, you will get clipped yourself. If you misuse the blick, you will get clipped. He said Wess ran from Myth Vision on what? All right, y'all, let's not prolong this. I see there's no questions in the chat. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We need this to grow exponentially. So let's end this, everybody, by praising the Most High in the name of his Son. We know the true names. All right. Till next time, y'all, let's end this with a little bit of big G's, not the little ones. Here to feed the little ones.
He just wanna shine and
Genesis on your mind.
young boy on his grind and
Put Genesis on the grind.
he just wanna shine and
Genesis on your mind.
young boy, yeah.
Genesis on the grind.
Big G's, not the little
Not
ones.
the little ones.
Big G's, not the little
Not
ones.
the little ones.
Big G's, not the little ones. Stay down till the missiles come. Big G's, not the little
Not
ones.
the little ones.
Big G's, not the little
Not the
ones.
little ones.
Big G's, not the little ones. And I heard they want smoke, I'ma sizzle some. Yeah, this ain't a rap, it's a eulogy. Killed every